Hi. Dr. Carmen McGuinness here. I've just been reading from one of my favorite little books, Things Trees Know. The passage I've been reading seems particularly pertinent to what we're going to talk about tonight. It reads, "Reach down as well as up. No roots, no branches." Tonight we're going to talk about moods and the importance of moods in personal development. Stay with me. Welcome back. So, moods. Moods in popular society and among much of the field of psychology are believed to be a problem when they are extreme or when they change frequently. Tonight I'm going to propose to you a slightly different perspective on this. It's not an uncommon perspective amongst some psychologists. And I also want to do a disclaimer here that I do not diagnose mood disorders. I simply treat people's behaviors. And of course, the behaviors that we exhibit during mood swings and extremes of mood are behaviors like any other behaviors. So I'm not advising you to go off your medicine or refuse medicine or anything like that. I'm simply proposing tonight that moods are a way for the subconscious to let us know that there's something that needs to come out, something that needs to come up, something that needs to come into awareness. Often that thing denotes a change in emotion regarding something that we're involved in, whether it's a person, a pursuit, a job, a situation, whatever it is. And when that change comes, it can be difficult for us to make it. Often moods can be euphoric as well if we're, for instance, falling in love. And I will put a link here to a video I did about keeping it real in new love. I think I did it this summer. But frequently, the problematic moods, the moods that we feel are the most disturbing, are the lower moods, when we feel depressed or saddened or worried or just have a slight feeling of dis-ease. And dis-ease, like any other mood, is a way of letting us know that something isn't quite right or that something is very good and you need to take note of it, or that something is changing. And often it's that changing that is the most difficult part of moods. Rather than thinking of this as a disorder, I think of it as a way for us to get in touch with our subconscious, to become aware that there's something inside of us that we have not brought to consciousness, that we are not currently thinking about. And often it occurs that we may, say if we have a worry, for instance, and we know we're worried and we feel worried and that is our mood, but sometimes that worry is trying to tell us that there's more to the picture than we're aware of at present, and to dig into that subconscious and see what it is. This can be done through meditation, it can be done through dream analysis. And I'm talking here about work on your own. I'm not talking necessarily about seeing a psychologist who does dream analysis. There are several apps on telephones, and there's dream books that you can access. One of the internet sources that I use frequently is dreambible.com. I highly recommend that. So when you're going through some kind of a mood disorder of some sort, when your mood feels disordered, I'm not talking about a diagnosable mood disorder, I'm talking about when you feel disordered in your mood, when you feel like something isn't quite right, or maybe why am I so darn happy, or something like that. It can be useful to pay extra attention to your dreams and signs that you see around you if you, for instance, notice a particular song playing frequently, or a particular verse in a book, like what I just read to you here. And there's another one I want to read to you too. This one says, stand tall, but bend when you need to. And to me, this is, in regard to moods, this is a way of saying, yes, be happy, stand tall in your life, be content, but when you feel that you need to bend, bend, and notice what it means. Moods can also be a way of accessing intuition. Our intuition is a deep knowing that tells us something that we don't necessarily know in our mind, in our thoughts. So you can use moods in that way too. My main message tonight is that moods are not necessarily a problem, and there may be much, much more to them than is commonly believed by society and by psychology at large. So listen to your moods. Maybe journal your moods. Write down what comes to your mind when you're having one of your moods. Meditate. Notice your dreams. Notice your thought patterns. Listen to what you're telling yourself. And sometimes we can drive ourselves into a problematic mood with recurring themes in our thoughts as well, when we're, for instance, down on ourselves. And I'll put up a few links here about how to improve your feelings about yourself. So use your moods to tap into what's going on in your subconscious, in your intuition, what you need to pay attention to, what's going to change, or what needs to change. I sometimes advise clients to think of moods in the same way that you do a sound wave. When you make a sound, when you send a sound out into the universe, say you hit a tuning fork or something like that, it starts quite loud and it slowly becomes quieter and quieter and quieter until there's silence again. Moods are like that. They might be quite loud initially and in your face, or they might start slow and become quite loud and in your face if you don't address what they're trying to tell you. But they do taper off, and the sooner you notice what the mood is trying to tell you, what your subconscious and your intuition is trying to tell you, the sooner they will quiet down again. So there's another little verse in my book that I mentioned earlier that comes to mind as I explain that. It reads, all trees fall, but life doesn't end. It only changes. This is so true. And when we notice what needs to change, it can make that process so much easier. In closing, I would just ask you to be respectful of your moods. Listen to your moods. Respect yourself enough to hear what your subconscious and your intuition are trying to tell you. Also respect yourself and be kind with yourself and gentle with yourself. Feelings are buried in the subconscious for a reason. Things can be difficult to deal with. Your mood is a way of letting you know that you're ready to deal with the changes that awareness can bring. I hope this has been helpful. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday for my midweek sneak peek. Until then, have a wonderful week.